up, Woodward? We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up.
Y'all got Kool-Aid hot.
Fired up. But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm. Because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
Hey, so much energy. We're fired up, man. Coming off a weekend, a Lions victory Monday. Now we got a lot of time to digest the Tigers and go freaking blue. Yo, it's your boy Brandon, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. That right there, Flannel Sam, the vet of the entire network, man. Holding it down. We got a lot to talk about today.
Oh, we have a lot to talk about. I know we went heavy Lions yesterday, and rightfully so, but there was a lot that happened this weekend, and a lot that's been breaking over the last 24 hours or so as well. So, jam-packed show, maybe one of the most jam-packed we've ever had.
And you know what? It's because these teams, they're giving us exactly what we've been asking for. I think Woodward Avenue is about to be jumping. It's not just going to be 4 sports teams. It's going to be, hopefully Pistons get it together, 4 hot sports teams. What up, though? Matthew Broder, our credentialed Tigers reporter and writer for the network. And I love the blackout Lions gear. I love it, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We couldn't ask for a better weekend. Like, as a Michigan fan, I know that is just a notch up of other teams that lost. But when you're talking Tigers and Lions and everything that's been going on, it was one of my favorite weekends in sports ever, and we get to talk part 2 about everything that happened today. I can't freaking wait.
Hey, it's dope. Shout out to that dude, Justin. Intern Chase is in the building. And let me introduce you to this elite booth. I know you guys already know, but still, let's give them their due. Hey, in the sound booth, that's Detroit's #1 drive fit, KG, a.k.a. Black Hollywood.
Did you introduce yourself as Sharon Moore yet? Because you kind of look like Sharon Moore. I'm just saying, you look like Sharon Moore with the Michigan polo, man. But shout out to everybody, man. Can't wait for the show today, and I'm excited for these Tigers, man. Can't wait to get into it.
Oh, man, I think you're going to set this chat off onto a certain direction.
Yeah, Mike. Sharon Kool-Aid.
Go blue. Hey, what up, though? Woodward Sports is MVP. It's a Tuesday. The Diddy Booth, JB Smooth. What up, though?
What up, Sharon Kool-Aid up there? I'm already,
Oh my
I hope
God.
you know I'm already over here working on this on the laptop for you right now. So just so you know.
Hey, you know what, man?
It's quick.
Chat family, as always, you guys are the most important part of the entire WUW Crew production. Go ahead and smash that like button. Let's zoom straight on through the like goal. Like we said, we got a lot to talk about, but we also have a lot of giveaways. Right now on socials, we're giving away 2 tickets to the Tigers game.
Dope.
Yeah, to the Tigers game. So get over to socials. We will be announcing a winner by 10, by the end of the show. Huh?
Today's game?
Yeah.
All right.
Today's game.
Just got to remind everybody that we know the game got moved up from 6:40 to 1:10 p.m. because it's supposed to rain all day, but it's supposed to like really rain later, so they moved it up to a 1:10 p.m. game this afternoon.
Wow. Thank you for that,
Yeah.
actually.
Also, you know who beat me into the studio today?
Who?
I was walking into Roast Birmingham, 7:03. You know, I was 3 minutes late in my book, and you know who's ordering some coffee?
Cool.
Tigers manager AJ Hinch.
No way.
He did his pregame lubrication
Let's
at
go.
Roast Coffee, baby.
Let's go.
Shout out.
Shout out to AJ Hinch.
He looks ready to go, too.
You know
Like,
what? Hey, chat family, we're going to put the like goal that we got to reach. It's the double like goal today. And guess what? We got 2 Woodward Tigers giveaways if we get there. So you got opportunity to win some merch. You got opportunity to win Tigers tickets on X right now at Woodward Sports. You get opportunity to be involved there. But you know what? Let's get into it. Detroit Tigers wild card chase. Tigers running wild.
Oh, yes. And what a weekend it was in Baltimore. And I think the thing that we have to highlight first before anything else is there were 4 defensive plays that were just the fact that they all happened in a 2-game stretch where they almost defy logic. And you can argue that if only 3 out of those 4 defensive plays are made, the Tigers probably lose the series. It's absolutely unbelievable. But, of course, it was highlighted by what Trey Sweeney did in the bottom of the ninth to save the game in Baltimore. Broder, do you want to paint a picture of the defensive excellence for the Tigers this weekend?
Yeah, it was each game, and we're kind of we're putting Friday aside. That was a tough one. Corbin Burns pitched. They lost 8-1. It was over. The real magic happened on Saturday and Sunday. And that play from Trey Sweeney in the bottom of the ninth, I don't think there are words to describe it. Like, it was perfect. It was heads up. Mm-hmm. He's a young player, but he reacted like a veteran. We're talking the Tigers are up 4-2 before Gunnar Henderson hits a 2-run double. This is, again, in the bottom of the ninth in Baltimore. So we got runners now on second and third, nobody out. Jason Foley gets pulled from the game. I believe it was Jason Foley, who was struggling, just didn't have his stuff. Bring in Bo Brisky, the man of the last 2 weeks, Mr. Bo Brisky, tasked with trying to get out of this game. We're talking nobody out, runners on second and third at the top of the lineup. I think their number 2 hitter gets a soft ground ball. Exactly what you need. And then this play from Trey Sweeney. Dude hits a little blooper in between, in the no man's land between shortstop and left field. Trey Sweeney makes a fabulous diving catch, kind of colliding with Riley Green, who's sliding under him. But the key to amazing catch, fantastic catch. The key to it all, he could have been down for an hour. He gets right up, throws it into home to prevent the runner from third from going home. It doesn't look like there was any serious injury, but to make a play like that, to be heads up enough to get up and throw it home, or at least check the runner, absolutely veteran-type play from Trey Sweeney. It saved the game. Obviously, the Tigers went on to win, but that play saved the game. One of many defensive plays that led to 2 victories this weekend against Baltimore.
And you know what? I'm glad you went there to the 2 victories, because after the loss, and it's here on the show sheet, there was magic in the air. But you had confidence. You said, you know what? Bad loss. Go win the series. And I didn't see Tigers World panic at all. Not like we saw kind of previously during the season. I saw Tigers World kind of be like, go win the series. And so, chat family, throughout the show, put in the chat, where is this confidence coming from for you throughout this Baltimore Orioles series that you saw the Tigers go out there and win the series and give themselves an opportunity to now really control their destiny in the wild card? And just real quick, Broder and even Flannel, where is that confidence coming from for you all as well?
Well, I would say, at least with the Baltimore Orioles, it was in the series at Baltimore. It's because of the way they played at Kansas City, the way that they played at home versus Baltimore, and also, let's just be honest, the Baltimore Orioles really have one pitcher you fear, Corbin Burns, and he got the Tigers on Friday. It happens. You can't expect to go into Baltimore and sweep them. The matchups on Saturday and Sunday were far more favorable, starting with Cade Povich on Saturday, who has not had himself a very good campaign for the Orioles, a rookie. And you know what? The Tigers, they went out there and did it. And what's most amazing, I mean, think about this. Broder, you painted the picture, but I want to paint it even further.
Thank you.
At one point during the Game 2 of the Tigers-Orioles series, after Gunnar Henderson hit that game-tying 2-run double, it was second and third with nobody out. The score was tied. It looked like the Camden Yards was absolutely going insane. They pretty much had already declared victory at that point. And then Bo Brisky comes in. He gets a ground out. He gets a ground out. He induces that pop fly to no man's land, in which Trey Sweeney makes that unbelievable catch. And then, of course, he gets out of it by getting that third out. Just an unbelievable situation to where you snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. And I want to go to Sunday as well, because I didn't even mention some of the other great defensive plays. And just before we move on to Sunday, Riley Green with a hell of a throw from left field to get out Adley Rutschman when they were looking to tie the game. That howitzer that Riley Green has out there. But let's talk about Sunday as well. Tigers got up to a 3-0 lead, but in the bottom of the 5th, the Orioles tied the game, highlighted by a Cedric Mullins 2-run home run. Colton Cowser steps up to the plate. He hits an absolute, it looks like a moonshot to center field. The way that the camera angle looked, it's like, oh my goodness, this is long gone. But who is there to, jump up, use his 6'5" frame, and rob that home run? None other than Parker Meadows.
And make it look easy.
If Parker Meadows doesn't make that catch, the Tigers lose that game. Because to me, they would have been demoralized at that point. The score would have been 5-3. And then, it's just, that's a really tough thing to come back from. But do you know who else makes a standout defensive play? The man that I was told Third base looked like Russia too.
Mr.
Jace Young, a guy that I love that he came up. I was kind of like, defense be damned, but it turns out defense don't be damned because he made a hell of a play. Sean Gunther gave up a line shot. It hit him, trickled over to third base, and Jace Young with a bare hand throw to first to help save the inning, to help preserve a 4-3 lead, a lead that was given to them by Kerry Carpenter with his second home run of the day. Just crazy things happening in Baltimore. Crazy good things. The Tigers have that magic on their side, that's for sure.
Hey, I love that, man. That magic on their side. And you know what, KG, I know you in there getting the coffee ready, but I want this unique perspective from you on the Detroit Tigers because you've been in the building for some of these runs. You've been in the building for some of the down years, too, with some of the jobs that you worked in the proximity to the team. It's like what you're seeing right now, man. How's it feeling? And I know it's epic.
Yeah, it's just trusting AJ Hinch to make the right decisions at the right time, especially in terms of the way he uses his relief pitching and things of that nature. Trusting in the young talent. I've always felt like they should lean into the youth movement. I felt that this year was an evaluation year because they did want to lean into the youth movement. And, you know, in a weird way, we kind of got around to where I was saying the whole time. But the fact that they went on this kind of a run this late in the season, it's I don't even know what to call it. It's really just magic right now. Like, they needed some help in order to get out of the hole that they were in. But the fact that they are here now, they're playing good ball. Everyone around them is falling. Literally everyone. So, I mean, things are taking shape to the point where they might have this thing secured before the 6 games are even over. Man. So, and that's what I'm hoping for mostly, so we can get the most in the playoffs. But, yeah.
And you know,
here we are.
And you know who the Tigers?
That's incredible.
You know who the Tigers are counting on? Maybe helping get them through these next 6 games and being a factor in the playoffs. Broder, who just got called up to the major leagues?
Yes, sir.
The number 1 pitching prospect in Major League Baseball, Jackson Jobe.
Look at his face. Talk about it, bro.
This is a very exciting time to be a Tigers fan.
Let's go.
Very exciting time. This is the number 1 pitching prospect in baseball. He gets called up. To me, it was unexpected. I hadn't heard anything about this even being a possibility, but they called him up. They DFA'd Shelby Miller, who actually had a big outing in Kansas City, but didn't pitch at all in Baltimore. They DFA'd Shelby Miller, bringing up Jackson Jobe for these last 6 games, and because he's playing in September, and because they're going to get a roster exemption for the Sawyer Gipson-Long injury, he's going to be available for postseason play too. So Jackson Jobe is going to be right in the middle of this wild card race here at the end of the season, and hopefully helping that bullpen in the playoffs.
Why not start your career off by being a postseason hero, Jackson Jobe?
Right?
How about that? What a better way to get your introduction into Major League Baseball. And you mentioned the bullpen, but one of the reasons why I really like this move is because you still don't know about the Tigers starting pitching past Tarek Skubal, of course. Reese Olson, he's been on a pitch count ever since he came back. He looks a little... The results have been mixed, although he looked better his last time out. Casey Mize, I don't really know if you can trust him at this point. Kiter Montero got rocked the last time he was out on the mound when they made Tyler Holton the opener and had Kiter Montero come in. The point is that even in the playoffs, it's not ideal, but you might need a bullpen day. And Jackson Jobe is somebody who's been a starter his entire minor league career. So you can use him in a variety of different ways. If you want to use him 2 in the 3rd and the 4th, you can. If you want to use him as like in the 7th or 8th, although it's really tough to ask somebody who's never pitched before to do that, you can because he's got that electric swing and miss stuff. And he might be one of those guys who, at least in terms of what he brings to the table, in terms of his stuff, in terms of his over 100-mile-per-hour fastball, he might be a guy who's more well-equipped to fool an Aaron Judge or somebody like that, should the Tigers get that far. So, great move. I love to see it. And Jackson Jobe, start your Tigers career off by being a postseason hero. Why not?
Why not?
Why not? And you know AJ Hinch, in everything that's going on this magical run, the buttons or the strings that they're pulling with this bullpen, with the entire pitching staff, AJ Hinch and Feder, they're going to put him in the right situation to be successful. Whether he is or not is up to him. He's got to pitch. But they're going to put him in the best matchup possible. That's why they're bringing him up. So we're talking about the best prospect in baseball. He's got a really nice 5-pitch mix, but it's highlighted by his top 3 pitches. A 96, 99-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball that has movement, a wipeout slider that it's like 12 to 18 inches of horizontal run with a little bit of drop, and then an up-and-coming or an underrated changeup that he started to get swing and misses at an over 20% rate. Like, this is a super stud coming to your major league team a little bit early, and he's young. He's got great stuff, but he knows how to pitch too. Yep. He knows how to pitch, and that's what's special about him. He's a strike thrower. He can work around the strike zone. He's a mature young player, so I know he was on a pitch count. They were managing his innings throughout the minor leagues, but now he can come in and give you an inning or two here and there, throw in 100. I'm just excited to see him pitch.
Yeah. That's awesome, and get a little bit of experience. This is why it's so cool to see the young guys that have been just tapped in, plugged into what the Detroit Tigers are doing. What's the word we kept saying? Bought in. From the front office to the players, all the way down to the minors. And now you get an opportunity to come here, and all the pressure is not on you. There will be pressure-filled moments if he gets an opportunity, but it's not as if we have to rely on one of our top prospects to come up here and be everything at this point in time. It's like, you know what? Go in there, get your feet wet, get some experience. You got some confidence because you know the big team is calling you up at a time where we are absolutely hot. Just go out there and do your thing.
Oh, man, you love to see it, and you love to see this bullpen, at least in terms of on paper, bolstered even more, even though they have been absolutely lights out pretty much since they made this run to get them back to in the playoffs. But coming up, one of the things that I want to highlight after the break is why I believe this run that they've had is not as just magic and crazy as some people say. The Twins and Royals, blowing all over themselves. That's another story. But from the Tigers' end, it's actually more explainable than you think. But first, you know what else is explainable? A nice workout at Planet Fitness.
Hey.
I get them, and look at me, right? I'm glowing. Anywho, no matter where you are, there is a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free atmosphere. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training for no extra cost? Want all the perks? Upgrade to the PF Black Card and enjoy use of amenities such as unlimited use of the Black Card Spa featuring hydro massage, massage chairs, and total body enhancement, and more, along with access to over 2,500 locations worldwide and unlimited guest privileges. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or planetfitness.com.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
To prove that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness, we're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today. Wow.
Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, or other family law issues, Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham will have your back. With 10 plus years of experience and 24/7 availability. Scan the QR code on the screen or call 248-971-0476. Say Woodward Sports sent you and KDK will pay your filing fee. KDK Law, they've got your back.
I already know KDK Law got your back. Wake up, Woodward, and Woodward Sports got yours. Hey, and we hope in chat family that you have our back. Welcome back, and thank you guys for choosing to kick off your day with Wake Up Woodward. We got the entire starting five in the building. Shout out to that dude Justin and intern Chase as well. And we're talking Detroit Tigers. Dante151 with the super chat, $9.99. Thank you, brother. He said, but I was told that trade with the Dodgers was an F. I'm looking at you, Ben Verlander and Maz. Oh, no. Also, Jackson Jobe being called up yesterday to help the pitching rotation has me fired up in all caps, man. I love it. And you know what, Flannel? I know what you teased before break. And the last time I took a look at the last 10 of the wild card race, the Tigers were the only 10 of the only team that was over 500 during that stretch.
Everybody's choking.
But that's the thing, though. When I look back here again, some teams ahead of the Tigers are choking, like the Orioles, the Royals, and obviously the Twins. All the teams ahead of them, though, are all over 500. But there are a couple teams behind them that if the Tigers were to falter, you're looking at Seattle, 7-3 in their last 10, and they have 81 wins. You're looking at Tampa Bay, 78 wins, 7-3. If the Tigers faltered just a little bit, and this is why I think it even bolsters your argument more of why, and I want you to tell us why the Tigers should be feared right now, because they're not losing ground to the teams hot behind them, and they are, in my opinion, putting a lot of heat on the teams that are still hot in front of them.
And that's why, and you actually mentioned it, this is why it's so big to at least take 2 out of the 3 from the Rays, because the Rays, they probably look at this series as a golden opportunity themselves to potentially, they probably have to sweep the Tigers, but they see a pathway for them to enter the playoff picture again. But I hear a little bit too much, I think, of people calling this Tigers run just this most unprecedented thing that nobody could have ever predicted in a million years.
I mean, Sam, they were 10.5 back.
No, KG, I'm not picking on anybody because I declared them dead as well. But like everybody should have, let's be clear, we should have declared them dead. However, one of the things that I always mentioned, and I'm going to give myself credit for this because I don't think it was talked about enough, is how injuries really impacted the team. I said numerous times on this show, I said it on Big D Energy as well, when they looked like they were out, that if Kerry Carpenter and Riley Green didn't get hurt, this Tigers team would be in the playoffs. Well, what do you know? They come back, and those two are two of the driving catalysts of this team looking like it has a damn good lineup and winning a bunch of games. And when you really look at this Tigers lineup, I want to highlight the lineup right now. It's really good, and they're all playing well. Their only weak spot is the catcher position with either Jake Rogers or Dylan Dingler. But let me paint you a picture really quick. Riley Green is an all-star, a deserving all-star, has played like it in the second half after coming back from injury again. Suck it, Terry Foster.
Shout out to your godson.
Yes, shout out to my godson. Kerry Carpenter has a 952 OPS in 82 games. His slugging percentage is over 600.
Kerry Boss.
Do you know who the only 2 qualified batters in the MLB are who have slugging percentages over 600?
Tell me about it.
2 guys you might have heard of by the names of Ohtani and Judge.
Yep.
That's it. And I get it. Kerry Carpenter only played 82 games. His health moving forward is going to be a concern. But in half the season, he's putting up a 952 OPS. Let's move to Parker Meadows. To go along with his Gold Glove caliber defense in center field, ever since he came back August 3rd from injury, in which he came back from being in the minors, he has an 823 OPS. That's all-star level play for about a month and a half or a little over a month and a half. You look at Spencer Torkelson, since his return from the minors, 764 OPS. Matt Vierling, the whole season, 735 OPS. Trey Sweeney, ever since he got recalled from the minors after the trade in his only MLB experience ever, has a 720 OPS. Javier Baez's was 516. Seismic upgrade. Even though Trey Sweeney hasn't been great, just him being competent at the plate and with defense as well and with some big hits is a huge, Javi Baez was a black hole, and now you got somebody who's competent. That explains a lot in why their offense is better. You look at Colt Keith, ever since his really rough start to the season, has a 760 OPS since the start of May. And hey, and this is one that I think is under the radar as well. Jace Young. I know Jace Young, his power isn't there. I know that he's not hitting as consistently as some people like, but this is where you come into Flannel Sam stats right here. Jace Young has a 360 on-base percentage in 31 games played. And if Jace Young were a qualified batter, which he is far from, I know, it would rank 19th in all of baseball. A 360 on-base percentage is a great on-base percentage. And I just pointed out 8 guys who are in the lineup every single day who are formidable. The only black hole is the catcher position. But newsflash, every team, even the teams that you don't think have a black hole. I mean, the Yankees, Alex Verdugo sucks. He's awful. Or at least he has been this year. Cleveland, who knows? The Tigers might play in the postseason. Bo Naylor sucks. Sucks. He's terrible at hitting. Catcher position for the Guardians, not good. Catcher position for the Tigers, not good in terms of hitting. So my point is that for a lot of the season, it looked like it was a weakness. You saw Tort get set down. You saw Parker Meadows get set down. You saw Riley Green and Kerry Carpenter get hurt again. Obviously, Trey Sweeney wasn't here until the trade deadline. But now everybody is here, and this lineup is absolutely thriving. And it is a damn good Major League Baseball lineup.
Sam, I got to push back a little bit.
What's up?
I agree with everything you said about the lineup and the improvements, but in terms of there being magic involved with this, like, as good as the numbers look right now, we can't deny these moves that A.J. Hinch is making with both the lineup and the bullpen and the pitching. I call it a bullpen because it's all bullpen pitchers, right? But the pitching staff, like pinch hitting Jake Rogers for Kerry Carpenter. Are you kidding me? Like that's an absurd thing. He managed to pull the right string there. What he's doing with Brendan Hanafy and Herder, Maeda pitching all right out of the bullpen. Like things, Bo Brisky, like the buttons that he's pressing, doing 3-4 bullpen days for every time Tarek Skubal starts. And I know Kaiser Montero has pitched well as of late, minus his last one. There's magic. Like that's the reason why all the other teams in the MLB, all the other playoff-bound teams, they should fear the Tigers right now because A.J. Hinch is so unpredictable. He's doing something different than any manager's ever done before. We don't have enough data on these young players, so he does, but other teams don't. So he's putting these guys in situations that match their skill set, their pitches, their Andy Ibanez against lefties. Like, he's doing all these things at a rate that's much higher than we've ever seen before.
No, I understand that. I'm not saying that A.J. Hinch doesn't play a factor.
Oh, right. I didn't take that from you.
On paper, it seems absurd to pinch hit
Jake Rogers.
Yeah, like a Gwensiel Perez for Kerry Carpenter or anything like that. But it worked because Kerry Carpenter, as great as he is against righties, he's literally Kerry Bonds versus righties. He's not really great against lefties. I understand that. It's just my point with bringing all of that up. What I really want to highlight is not to diminish, the pitching. Tarek Skubal's a Cy Young. Tyler Holton's one of the best bullpen pitchers in the MLB. We've seen what Brisky, Hanafy, Gunther, Vest, all of them. I get that. It's to highlight that it's not like this team is just a ragtag team. You've got dudes who can play. Mm-hmm. That's why I will always err on the side of I like A.J. Hinch and the moves that he's made. He's not the reason why Riley Green's an all-star. He doesn't make Kerry Carpenter just mash against right-handed pitching. Like, those are the things that I will always say that the players, despite being put in good situations most of the time, the players still got to play. Yeah. And this lineup, especially since the beginning of August, has been one of the best in baseball.
Yeah, and you know what? This is why I do credit that coaching staff in whole. Because there are times when we can't see it, but they can. And, Hinch, he's unpredictable, but he's very deliberate. And the moves that he makes, it tends to, as time goes on, you're like, I see what he's doing here. And that's where I give a lot of credit to this coaching staff, because if you know they can do it, it's because of what you're seeing them do in practice. It's what you're seeing them do every single day. And that's where, when we saw certain players going down to the minors, we started to wonder, is this more of a mental thing? Is it more of a technique thing? But we knew we had kind of full faith and confidence that some of these young guys will start to figure things out. And at the very least, they're going to get the full assessment on some of the players that we've been waiting to see. What are they going to do? Yep. And so as we're looking at this run right now, and we're looking at A.J. Hinch being able to pull, what seemingly is like 100% of the time the correct strings, I think it goes a long way to kind of look at, and I'm glad that we did shout out Feder, shout out Berder before, because this team and what A.J. Hinch is able to do, he's able to just it doesn't make sense sometimes, except for the fact that I think they have a vantage perspective, and these guys are working nonstop to get better.
Yes, and to be clear, there is magic out there, and I highlighted it definitely with the way the Twins and the Royals have been choking. I don't think some, not all, not all, are giving enough credit to just when you just look at the numbers of how this lineup has been performing, whether it's the full season, whether it's in stretches, the fact that they're all together and you've got a lineup that's actually pretty formidable, I don't think that's given enough credit. I don't think A.J. Hinch is carrying a bunch of bums to the playoffs or anything like that. I'm not saying anybody's saying that, but I think it's implied a little bit more than I would like.
But
and by the way, and just for the record, why are there so many Jake Rogers simps in the chat right now? Every time I don't mention that, the man is hitting under the Mendoza line, people. You may be trolling, I understand. The man's average is 197, his OPS is 610. Shut up.
I was going to say,
Jake Rogers.
got him.
The catching position sucks at hitting for the Tigers. That's okay. The Guardians does too. It's fine. You got 8 guys who can mash and a black hole. That's about what you want.
How dare you disrespect Rake Rogers?
Rake Rogers.
I was wondering if you saw that, man. The chat was definitely relentless in their support of one Rake Rogers.
I'm glad Flannel did say clearly hitting. He specifically said hitting.
Right.
Because he knows deep down how important Jake Rogers and Dylan Dingler, who's not hitting well, who had a huge hit in the Baltimore series, how important they've been to this pitching staff and how successful they've been. They call every pitch.
Yeah. Man, you know what? We're going to have to get Dylan Dingler back on a hot stretch again. Did you guys see Max?
When was he on a hot stretch?
Yeah.
No disrespect.
That's the magic, though. That's the magic.
And you know what, man? It's funny because watching Max Clark kind of live tweet these things, one of the craziest things that I love, and that's why we need Dylan Dingler to do something special, Dingler Bang. That's like one of my favorite phrases.
Hold on,
see Max Clark?
Hold on, G.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got to go back to the drawing board with
It was
that
like
one.
Dingler Bang, Dingler Bang.
Nah.
I'm the only one who saw this.
No, I did.
Hey, look, it blew up on
Dingler
socials,
Bang.
man. I'll tell you that much.
Okay, for the wrong reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Dingler
Oh,
Bang.
man. Hey, but it is something special. I think special runs, there's always something a little bit more to it. And it is. So when we look back at the 2004 Pistons, when we look back at some of the Red Wings runs, you can just pick a run. Even the Tigers who didn't get the championship, but they had some special runs. There were things that we could look back on, and it was those moments that we were like, wow, I can't believe that happened. Yeah. And that's what's going on here.
Yes. And one more. Before we get to Michigan, I got to respond to the Shaquille Oatmeal. Yeah, but without A.J. Hinch, those numbers wouldn't be where they are. And there's nuance to Rake, of course, to Rake Rogers. Come on, man. I don't know if you're trolling with that last one. My point is that I get it. A.J. Hinch has pulled a lot of the right strings. I have come to terms with the fact that Kerry Carpenter can't hit lefties, or at least hasn't shown an ability to do that yet. But against righties, he's Kerry Bonds. I get all of that. I get that you have some nice bats in the chamber right now, specifically with a 40-man roster where you can pinch hit Ibanez, where you can pinch hit a Perez, where you can pinch hit a Malloy, and all of them have come through in certain situations just recently. Even Malloy just getting hit by a pitch. That's a win, for example. However, there's a lot of guys who are really, really good. Riley Green's an all-star. Kerry Bonds is Kerry Bonds against righties, and he's got over 600 slugging percentage. Players got to play, too. Players got to play.
Players, they go and play.
Hey. Wait, man, you know what? I think you said it best, brother. It's one of the best weekends in just in a long time at the very least.
My entire life.
Hey, it feels like the best, man. I can tell you guys about something else that is the best. Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store. They offer you the same prices and all the conveniences of the online and the big box retailers with one major difference. They've been family and locally owned for over 30 plus years. They're carrying over 60 brands of food, and they got nutrition experts to help you. Same day, local curbside, and home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best. Visit them online, www.premierpetsupply.com.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had the spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How? Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at randywisechevy.com.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supplies has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody!
Hey, Detroit, on game day, wake up with Woodward and Maine, your source for all the insider information on the defending NFC North champions, your Detroit Lions, with insight from Detroit sports media legend Terry Foster and rising star Matt Broder. Get ready, Detroit, every Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. Woodward and Maine, brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Taller Your Local Long Drink, Sabbath Coffee, and Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. And then, of course, you got to watch the pregame show. Look at those two men, Sean Baligian and Neil Rule. Trustworthy faces right there. It's the New Holland Brewing Company pregame show. Every game day, Neil Rule and Sean Baligian bring you the best Lions pregame show. Sunday, 10 a.m. to noon on Woodward Sports, live at Second Best Bar in Detroit. The latest injury reports, fantasy sit and starts, and the inside scoop on your Detroit Lions. Join us for every Sunday home games live at Second Best Bar in Detroit, your official guide to Lions game day on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Taller Your Local Long Drink, Sabbath Coffee, and Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey.
Oh man, and speaking of the Tangerine Space Machine, it's the new easy drinking IPA that is out of this world. Smooth, juicy, with refreshing crushability. Take your taste buds to the moon with Tangerine Space Machine. Grab yourself a can of this intergalactic haze of goodness. It's actually the official beer of outer space. I don't know if you guys even knew that or not,
Really?
but hey, it's brewed in New Holland Brewing Company, straight out of New Holland, Michigan.
What up, though, people? Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you guys for kicking off your day with the WUW Crew. We're going to get into some Go Blue. But first, I need you guys to satisfy that like button and treat it right and treat it nice, man.
Wait, what?
You know what I'm saying?
What we doing?
We got to satisfy that like button.
Oh,
Hey.
I like the sound of that.
Hey.
And I bet you like the sound of that too. I know you sitting there looking at your screen, man, wondering what ways can I satisfy that like button? Well, just go ahead, tap that thing real nice and slow. Don't get too sweaty now. I know it's hot.
Liking me, to treat it right. All right. I had to finish it,
And
man.
that is why Kool-Aid has 4 kids, ladies and gentlemen.
You said it.
Oh, man. But you know what? Go Blue. They won this game against USC after I had a whole lot more doubts about them than I did to start the game. And they won it in a fashion that honestly made me optimistic to start the season. I thought, you know what? At the very least, this team is going to be able to control that line of scrimmage as it relates to running the football. I thought Donovan Edwards, he's going to have a hell of a season. And Mullings has come out of nowhere, and we saw in this USC game, to be clearly RB #1. And they won USC, and probably at this point in time. Before the season, I thought, hey, good. Somebody who didn't waver, my man Flannel Sam, you said, no, they're going to beat them. You said that a couple times last week. Where did the confidence come from, and are they back? Like, can I turn back on the Go Blue optimism?
Oh, KG, Michigan is so back. They are 100% back. Hey, KG rule. KG rule.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I'm just looking at this for what it is. But go ahead. I'm not hating at all.
All right. Let me explain why they are 100% back.
Okay.
Because first of all, isn't it funny, Matt Broder, how every time Michigan gets a big win, everyone's like, oh, they're never going to beat USC. Miller, Moss, Lincoln Riley. And then after the game, it's like, USC is soft anyway. Lincoln Riley can never win any big game. It's a tale as old as time. It goes back from Penn State to Washington last year.
Get your shit off.
When it's Penn State, it's like, oh my God, they got to go on the road. They played such a cupcake schedule. They don't have Connor Stallions. Jim Harbaugh suspended. Then afterwards, it's like, oh, James Franklin and Drew Aller sucks anyway. You know,
you got me fired up right now, bro.
You know it's true. How about the Alabama one? Oh, they can never hang with the big boys from the SEC. It just matters more down south. Oh my God. When Michigan saw that they were going to have to beat Alabama, they were like, oh, shiver me timbers. Oh, shiver me timbers. And then when Michigan kicked their ass, do you know what they said?
Flex was going to run all over him, right? I'm so freaking fired up right now because you know what?
Dog.
That game right now, hearing all of that, as a Michigan fan, I'm like, you know what? That game embodied so many middle fingers to so many different narratives. It's almost like, you know what? For the Kiss the Ring season, that was such a perfect win to shove it right back in the face of every single detractor, whether they're back or not. Whether they're back or not. But whether they're back or not, that game felt so good. I even saw Braylon in the group chat, man. It feels so good to see Go Blue be able to flex. KG, flex a little bit.
Nah, man.
Live a little bit.
Nah, man. Excuse the fuck out of me if I just need to see a little bit more. 32 yards of passing offense, that ain't gonna cut it, man. And while the defense played better in this game, the fact that what's his name? Wink Martindale gives up a go-ahead touchdown in the third quarter by blitzing a slot corner when there's no safety help over the top in the red zone. It's certain little things like this that I just worry about this offense. Yes, it's great that the offensive line is playing better. Yes, it's great that we can still run the ball, but we are going to be one-dimensional the rest of this year. We have two quarterbacks that cannot throw the football, and they're not even trying anything creatively to try and get Alex Orji, started as far as passing the ball. So I need to see more. Yes, they can win games in this manner, but not every game. And I'm looking 8 wins in the face. I'm just being real. I'm just being real with what I'm seeing.
Well, I got 9. And I think that could be enough to make the playoffs. And here's why I think you can take a lot from this Michigan game over USC. Now that I'm calm and can really break down the game. Before the game, I actually posted this on X. I don't have it with me, but I'll just read it, or I'll paraphrase what I said. I basically said, in order for Michigan to reach the expectations that us fans had for them, which I think most had them at between 8 to 10 wins. Some had them as a playoff team, some did not. They need to do 2 things. A, especially with Alex Orji being named the starter, they needed to be the #1 rushing attack in the Big Ten. There's no excuse for them not to. They needed to do that. And they needed that defense, which has a lot of talent. According to a mock draft that was posted in the Wake Up Woodward group chat, they have potentially 3 of the top 10 players from the 2025 draft on their defense. I needed them to be the best scoring defense in the Big Ten, or first in points allowed per game. And while the points allowed per game didn't necessarily come to fruition against USC, a lot of what they needed to do did come to fruition because Michigan ran for over 290 yards. And I want to highlight my man Kalel Mullings because that dude is – I love that man. I love the way that he runs the football. And you saw it in the first half to get the scoring started. The offense, there was a play that was run, a nice handoff up the middle. It was very well blocked. Shout out to the offensive line. And Kalel Mullings, he found the hole. And to his credit, he's got great vision. He found the hole, and then he used that breakaway speed that he doesn't necessarily have breakaway speed or Donovan Edwards speed, but he's got more speed than you think. But the real story of Kalel Mullings, did you see that run on that game-winning drive? That 10-play, 89-yard drive that took under 4 minutes. That was pretty much all runs. It was absolutely unbelievable.
That's what I'm saying, Sam. Like, it's cool to be happy about the win. I'm just not ready to pound my chest because without Kalel Mullings and without that Will Johnson interception in the third, we lose this game and we coming in here with a way different tone.
Wait a minute. But
we coming in here with a way different tone. But we can say that last year and any other, like, they're playmakers. That's what they do. That's why they're there. That was a part of the optimism as well before the season, is that I believe Will Johnson would be a difference maker, that he would be a guy where we look at the situation, we say, whoa, that's crazy. But then you take a step back and be like, no, that's first rounder Will Johnson. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm seeing. So there are certain things that I'm realizing Michigan can dictate things. I do understand the concerns with the quarterback because I don't think anybody expected it to be this woefully bad, but it would be different for me if Alex Orji was like 7 of 20 for 32 yards rather than 7 of 12 for 32 yards. Their game plan, and he has to get better accuracy-wise and such, but their game plan is to pound that rock. In my opinion, if you can make sure that by mid-season you have an Alex Orji who can at least off the play actions, and when you have to get rid of it and hit your tight end or hit somebody out in the flat or in the middle of the field, that's, to me, if you want to give yourself a chance to get that 9 wins, I feel like it's easier for him to make that reach. And if he does,
right,
from an offensive standpoint, I like what Michigan can do, even though you want a lot more out of the quarterback position.
You at least got to show him to be some kind of a threat throwing the football, because 32, I don't think you realize, is a franchise low for passing yards in a game by Michigan. This is not just, okay, he threw a 100-yard game, whatever. No, this is like real serious shit going on. So, like I said, being a one-dimensional team with 9 games left to go, I don't know about our chances, man. If we go down 2 scores, what the fuck we gonna do?
I feel like what we gonna do? I feel like if it was one-dimensional, I believe they lose to USC. But I do believe that when you have Alex Orji back there, a defense has to scheme a little bit different. Is he running? Is he passing? That's what you want. Is he handing off to the running back?
That one, Kool-Aid. They're one-dimensional. Yeah, and that's okay, by the way. They are.
Is it though?
KG, you don't enjoy wins, apparently.
No, I do. I just said you can be happy about the win, but I'm not pounding my chest when we barely won that game.
Okay, but KG, it's a win against the number 11 team.
Yes,
the number 11 team. And you said something earlier, which you said without Will Johnson's pick 6 and without Kalel Mullings' heroics, they wouldn't have won. So you mean without the best corner in the country and their RB1, they don't win? Come on.
Well, the RB1 now, Donnie Edwards is supposed to be the RB1.
No, I'm just saying that's a lot of teams. Those are probably their 2 best players right now.
Yeah, I get it.
You need your best players to make big plays. And that's one of the things I was also impressed with. Will Johnson, let me give a shout out to Will Johnson, because he hadn't been having the best year. He had that really big pick 6 against Fresno State, and I thought he played really well against Texas. But the problem with Will Johnson so far this year is, like, why is he giving up so many plays to Fresno State and Arkansas State receivers? I needed to see more out of him. I needed to see Johnson Island, and that's what Will Johnson gave you. Mm-hmm. He had that big pick 6, and when he was targeted, he only allowed 2 receptions for 25 yards. I also have to give a shout out to that defensive line, which to me was dominant. You saw Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant look like those top 10 picks that they could possibly be. You saw Mason Graham get his first sack of the season and was an absolute menace in the middle. You saw Kenneth Grant, other than that one bad play, which we don't have to talk about anymore because they ended up winning, he was a menace as well. Josiah Stewart, 2 sacks and 8 quarterback pressures. Derek Moore, 6 quarterback pressures. And that's one of the reasons why I think, despite the fact that, yeah, KG, there were a couple of touchdowns, especially that blown coverage where it's like, man, wink, man, defense, what are you doing? However, overall, Miller Moss attempted 51 passes and had 288 yards passing. You'll take that. On 2 of the touchdown drives, one of them, Josiah Stewart actually forced what should have been the back-breaking turnover for USC, but Kenneth Grant, trying to be Blake Grant or Kenneth Corum, when he shouldn't have, he fumbled it right back, and then USC scored, and then the other touchdown was set up by the Donovan Edwards fumble, which was an 18-yard drive. They sacked Miller Moss 4 times. They forced a pick 6. They forced a sack fumble. I thought the defense actually played really, really well, and it was highlighted by your dudes, your NFL guys who you're going to be seeing playing on Sundays, possibly competing for Rookies of the Year next season. That's why I'm so happy with this win. We knew that the quarterback would be an issue, not as much as it ended up being. I'll give you that. But they need to have a dominant run game, and they need to have a dominant defense, and you saw it against USC. After they struggled so bad against Texas, after they had one of the most uninspiring wins I've ever seen in my life against Arkansas State, they came to play against USC, and I am proud of this team. And every single thing that Michigan wanted to accomplish before the season is still on the table. And before I let you go, Kool-Aid, one other person I have to give a shout-out to is that could end up being a program-defining win for Sharon Moore. Not because beating USC is as big as Ohio State or Oregon or anything like that. It's what would the narrative be if Michigan would have lost? What would the perception be if Michigan would have lost? That maybe Sharon Moore is a one-and-done coach. So, yes, Kool-Aid, I'm going to let you go now. I had a lot to say about Michigan, and I am proud of them.
No, and I want to be able to kind of clarify it. I know that in terms of one-dimensional, if you're talking passing and running, yeah, they're just a running team. But when you get into the nuances of running, are they just an I formation? My quarterback can't throw, can't run. Is it mobile? Which we've seen those Michigan teams, and they had no hope. Yeah. The reason why I have a little bit more optimism with the guy like Orji is because when he calls hike, a defense does have to think, is he running? Is he handing? Is he a play action? Because there were a couple plays in that game that if he doesn't complete one of those 7 passes, where is this team at the end of the game? And that's what I'm saying. If you can find a way to fine-tune that just a little bit. Not leaps and bounds like you got to go out there and find a way to get 200 passing yards a week. But if you can put up 20 passes and find a way to 110 yards per game, I don't know how huge ass that is, but 7 of 12, 32, it's not what you're looking for. But I do like Michigan's ability in the run game to be a little bit more dynamic than kind of linear with their run game. And that was more or less what I
just hope they can rush for over 200 yards a game every game, because if not, you are in serious trouble.
Well, let's keep this in mind as well. Colston Loveland was out.
That's
true.
true.
I'm not saying that that's an excuse to throw for 32 yards.
Yeah.
It worked. I understand. Still not super confident Alex Orji as a passer, but Colston Loveland is probably the ultimate safety blanket in all of college football. He's still the best tight end. You saw, besides that one fumble he had against Texas, has been having a stellar year so far. And before we move on, because, we're talking a lot about Michigan. I love it. I gotta address Just a Fan, and this is what has always bothered me about you, dude. This is why I sometimes call you a fake Michigan fan, because you want to try to dunk on me instead of enjoying a win. Just a Fan, at Sam Reynolds, Flannel Sam. What did you say about Mullings before the season started? RB1 or dud? And there was another one where he said, you said Mullings was crap. No, Just a Fan, I did not. I did think that Donovan Edwards would be RB1, like we all did. However, I defended Kalel Mullings. Intern Justin, no longer intern Justin, but Justin, Western Michigan Justin now. He was the one, Jesus, who said that Kalel Mullings was mid. I said that for large portions last season, when Kalel Mullings got carries, it looked a hell of a lot better than when Donovan Edwards got carries, because Donovan Edwards had a terrible season besides for the national championship game. No, I didn't expect Kalel Mullings to be RB1 this season right away. However, I never doubted him as a potential contributing member of this team, and now that I've seen what I've seen enough that he has to be RB1.
Yeah.
So,
no
just
question.
a fan, just enjoy wins. Stop trying to dunk on me for no reason, dude.
Can I be the voice of reason,
Yes.
please?
Sure, JB.
Look, I will put my Sparty fandom aside for a second, but I still, once again, have to side with KG on this one.
Thank you, man.
Look, I'm not going to discredit any wins that you guys get. None whatsoever. You went out there, you ran the ball, you put up 300 yards on the ground. It was a good day. Yes, Alex Orji can't throw. 32 yards is completely terrible. It is just ass. But now you have put this film on tape for teams coming up. Now that they know that, hey, they're going to be running every single play, no matter what it is, whether they're handing it off to Mullins, whether they're giving it to Edwards, whether Orji's taking it, whether they're doing end arounds, whatever. You've now put yourself to become one-dimensional. If you put it on tape, and now these other teams, they all know it as well too. So they're going to be playing a little bit close as well too. And all these teams, they are a lot more physical than USC or was. I'm telling you, USC was soft as it is. So now you have a lot of ground to sit here and say that, hey, we're just going to keep running the ball every single time and they're not going to be able to stop us. No, they are going to be able to stop you. And yes, you can somewhat rely on your defense, but that is not going to help you every single time. Hey, people are going to get hurt out there, and it is not going to be a fun season for the rest of Michigan moving forward. It is going to be literally game by game. You're on the edge of your seat thinking that, oh shit, we could lose this one.
No, because that's what I worry about. Your receiving core has been non-existent because you can't throw the ball. When Colston Loveland comes back, sure, that's great, but they are going to key in on Colston Loveland. And then you're seeing 8 and 9 in the box on most plays. And you're really running the risk of Alex Orji getting hurt. And then if that happens, we're back to Davis Warren. I'm just saying, I'm just looking at this thing in a realistic way. I'm proud of the team. I'm happy they got the win. I'm never going to apologize for a win, but just going forward with this season, I need to see more before I can pound my chest and say, go Blues back.
That's fine.
That's
but
it.
I just don't understand fans like you and Just a Fan, just like, did you golf clap when they won, or did you pout?
Of course I was happy, but I just see what this long term is going to look like, and it doesn't look pretty.
Like you have no faith at all in Orji being able to be a serviceable game manager?
I do have faith, but I'm just not seeing anything as far as the offensive coordinator really trying to scheme up ways to make him productive with his arm. That's it. Of course, he's a running threat, but you have to at least kind of show teams like he can throw the ball. Don't just blitz all game or don't just stack the box all game. He can throw the ball. That's all I'm saying.
Well, let me just respond really quick to what KG and JB said, because I do think that this being one-dimensional could give Michigan trouble against Oregon and at Ohio State. I don't expect Michigan to win these games.
You sounded like Ryan Armani. He talking about that's a win. He literally played the schedule game and said they were going to win the rest of the way.
Well, wow. I don't think they're going to beat Oregon. I don't think they're going to beat Ohio State. But can they beat Minnesota like this? Yes. Can they beat Northwestern like this? Yes. Can they beat Washington like this? Absolutely. Am I a little bit more concerned about at Illinois? Sure, they look good. Am I a little bit more concerned about Indiana? Sure, but I still expect that if the running game, regardless of what Alex Orji does, if Michigan continues to have the best running attack and the best defense in the Big Ten, that it can at least get them to 9 wins. And to me, especially if they make the playoffs, that's a successful season, given the expectations and given that they're coming off a natty.
Facts. Yeah, given they lost a lot of talent, too, off of that team, too. So
we agree on that.
And that's where I'm at, man. It's going to be interesting to see. But
Sharon
for right
Kool-Aid,
now,
I need you to scheme this up.
Right,
man.
come on.
Come on, Sharon
No, Kool-Aid more is what they dubbed him in the chat. Kool-Aid more.
Listen, y'all know I'm always going to try and see things optimistically. I think that this shows just how special Denard Robinson was. Not every person, every quarterback that's athletic is going to be Denard. People talked about his arm, but he could make the situational throws. He could get the first downs. He was throwing touchdowns, 40-yard touchdowns to win games and such. It's like, you know what? He could do that as well as be something dynamic. And that's where, to your point, I understand it. If they're not going to put Alex Orji in a position to at least take best advantage of his skill set, then it does make them extremely one-dimensional if you just turn around, handing the ball off, and just hoping that Kalel Mullings continues to be the monster.
Well, let's see what they do against, like, Minnesota, for example.
That should be a dub.
Hopefully, Colston Loveland is back, and I would like to see more out of the passing game. I will admit that. Against a team like Minnesota,
cool,
I'd like
40 yards.
40 right. Cool. 40 yards. Right. 7 yards. Colston Loveland.
You should tell your quarterback to stop throwing interceptions into double coverage when they actually have a chance to win.
I will. I can't argue with that. You're throwing into double coverage every single fucking time.
Don't just take that, JB. No, fuck that. Don't take that.
I'm dead serious. Childs needs to chill out. He gets a little antsy back there in the pocket, and it's just like, oh, I got an open receiver. I can fit that in that window. No. Don't do that. Once again, this is growing pains of a young quarterback that's just taking what you see out there and not just throwing in the end zone just because you have the arm for it.
Let's get into it, man. I mean, Michigan just beat a team who threw for probably 4 times as many yards as we hope Alex Orji can. So I'm going to keep my optimism just a little bit, man.
51 attempts to get there,
and that's
we know what that's like. Did you see the Lions-Rams game in week 1? If it takes you 50 attempts to get less than 300 yards, I would say, despite some plays that USC made that looked like defensive breakdowns, I'll take it.
Oh, man. Yo, the chat is wild. I love this chat. Hey, let me tell you about Sabbath Coffee. Fuel your Lions fandom with the perfect cup and become a subscriber of Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Whether you are gearing up for a big game or savoring a quiet morning, Sabbath Coffee Roasters has you covered with fresh, locally roasted specialty coffee delivered right to your door. Head to www.sabbathcoffeeroasters.com. Choose your favorite roast. Use code Woodward to get 25% off your first subscription order. Awaken and unwind. Support local and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters. And let me tell you about something awesome. It's Lady Jane's. Walk in any Lady Jane's haircuts for men today, open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Just scan that QR code that's right there on the screen right now and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's haircuts for men, open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. Lady Jane's haircuts for men, it's wicked awesome.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? chef for Lola, really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supplies has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, Caesar Sportsbook. Look, what if I told you could place a bet up to $1,000, and if you lose, you get that bet right back? I know you think I was crazy, but I'm not. I'm telling you, scan the QR code on the screen, use code Woodward1000. You'll get a deposit back up to $1,000. That's right, $1,000 if your bet does not hit. All you got to do is do a minimum bet of just $20. Download the Caesar Sportsbook app, the official app of us here at Woodward Sports. Use code Woodward1000, and hey, go make some money.
Hey, you know what? Money is always good. But hey, attention sports fans. Don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and Thursday during Armani and Edwards, where he's offering you top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy at DMAC Trust. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. And we are back. What up, though, people? It's Wake Up Woodward. Thank you guys for choosing to kick off your day with the WUW Crew. Lions in victory week, and they're getting prepared to play an old nemesis of Aaron Glenn. That is the Seattle Seahawks. Beat the brakes off the Seahawks. They came into our city and beat us and put on the ski mask. Cleanse us. Cleanse the city, please. But you know what? They kind of got hit with the injury bug at the... You know what? If you're going to get hit with the injury bug, I'd rather be early in the season.
I agree. However, if these injuries, well, the Marcus Davenport one looks like it's season ending. The Frank Ragnow one, partially torn pec. Derek Barnes looks like it's definitely going to keep him out of the Seahawks game. And Broder, I just got to say, with those three guys out, you don't know the status of like Iffy or Rakestraw, just to name a few. It's going to be kind of hard to beat the Seattle Seahawks. That was kind of a sobering victory Monday in some ways.
Yeah, it's not a gimme, and it never was, but it kind of goes up another notch because Marcus Davenport is someone you would want in a game against Geno Smith, in a game where they have two good running backs, whether K9 plays or not. Mm-hmm. You love to see what he was doing, sacks or not, the way he crushes that can, as they say, on the opposite of Aiden Hutchinson, and also Frank Ragnow, depending on what his status might be. We know how good he is, whether he's played that great these last couple games or not. I think he's playing better than people are giving him credit for, but those are big losses. And Derek Barnes, he's played 95% of the snaps. These are players that are going to contribute to the Lions. You know, we talk about them getting to and winning the Super Bowl. Those players are contributors to Super Bowl winning teams. Now the question is, how did Brad Holmes do building this team, building the depth out on this team? What are they going to do? We'll talk. Maybe they dip their toes into the trade market. Maybe not. But we got to believe, at least for the time being, that they're going to test their depth. They're going to give opportunities to guys. And last thing I'll say, before the season, we look at Week 5 bye as not a good bye week. Might be a blessing in disguise right now.
Especially for somebody like Frank Ragnow.
Yeah.
Maybe he can gut it out for the Seahawks game, although partially torn pec. That's
tough.
Interesting. Or he could have 2 weeks off instead of one, which I would probably advise, but I'm not a member of the Detroit Lions medical team. I'm not a doctor, anything like that. I want to key in on the Marcus Davenport situation because it looks like reports are that he's likely out for the season with a torn tricep. And let's just be honest. Despite the fact that Aiden Hutchinson is playing like a defensive player of the year, which he is, and that Marcus Davenport, I give him credit for having a really good game in Week 1. I'm like, man, we might have our bookends. The way that the potential bookends the way that it's played out so far through 3 weeks, with Davenport likely being out for the season and James Houston not being able to touch the field, it's kind of a disaster at this point. The Marcus Davenport signing, if he doesn't play again the rest of the season, it's a bad signing. It's an absolute fail. And it's the risk that you take when you go after a Marcus Davenport because you've seen it throughout his career.
Lengthy.
He got injured, he missed 14 games. He either missed 13 or 14 last year. Either way, it's bad. In his best season in 2021, he only played 11 games. And let's just go to, in 2022, he played almost the full season but only had half a sack. So part of Marcus Davenport's story is injuries and inconsistency. And it just makes you wonder, is there something else that the Lions maybe should have done? Should they have gone a different direction in the draft instead of going after a Giovanni Manu? Because we have to shift our expectations of Brad Holmes just a tad. We all agree that Brad Holmes is the best GM in Lions history. His drafting prowess is second to none. He's built this team from the ashes into a perennial playoff team, into one of the Super Bowl favorites. However, I don't want to look back. Let's just say the Lions lose in the playoffs and be like, man, it's Aiden Hutchinson on one end and no pass rush from the other end because Marcus Davenport isn't available and James Houston maybe isn't the player that they all thought that he would be, the player that he showed in 2022. We have to adjust Brad Holmes' expectations to he needs to eventually build this team into a Super Bowl before he gets mentioned in the rarefied air of like a Brett Veach or a Howie Roseman or even like a Les Snead or somebody like that. As a GM, tactically drafting, I would put him up against damn near everybody except maybe Brett Veach. But the point I'm trying to make is that the Marcus Davenport signing looks like a big fat L at a position that the Lions really needed to not take an L.
Man, and you know what? I try to go back to last season as well when we believed that we needed a lot more help along that defensive line, and we did. We needed some additions, but at that point in time, at least with how we saw it through our own perspectives, we thought if they don't do something at the trade deadline to shore up that defensive line, then this team at best will win one playoff game and they're done. And we saw that they were actually a lot better. So when we do talk about Brad Holmes, at least to this point, he's shown that he at least knows what his team's makeup is. And they said last year that they believed after the trade deadline that they had everything they needed to be able to make a run. This year, I was really hoping that we got Davenport, but in the back of my mind, I always expected that he might miss some time. And this is where we talked about, some of the depth that they do have on that defensive line. It's difficult to replace necessarily what Davenport was doing because I thought he had a good start to the season, but I'm hoping that this is something that Brad Holmes, if you're gonna move, that you move quicker rather than later in the season for cohesiveness, for chemistry, and that's what I mean about early in the season. If you're gonna get some injuries, for everybody involved, if the player has an opportunity to get healthy, or so that the team can go and make the correct change to kind of keep things as same as possible as you're approaching the playoffs.
Yeah, and to further your point, you'd rather have Iffy miss some games at the beginning and have the Lions be 2-1 without him. Same with Rakestraw, same with them winning a game in which Alex Anzalone doesn't play, same with them finishing out a game defensively in which Aleem McNeil goes out, and Derek Barnes goes out, and Marcus Davenport goes out, and Brian Branch goes out. I mean, on and on and on. And Broder, I got to ask you this.
Hit me.
Because I look at a partially torn pec and I'm like, Frank Ragnow is the toughest SOB on planet Earth. I know that he's going to want to play, but maybe he shouldn't, at least in this game on Monday Night Football. Are you confident that the Lions offensive line will be able to hold it together if you maybe have to put Graham at center and Coyote or Colby Sorsdahl?
I am hesitantly saying that I am confident just because it is this offensive line and Hank Fraley's their coach, and it still features Penei Sewell. So I think they're going to be fine. But that's not to downplay how important this loss could be. We'll see what they do. Does Glasgow move to center? Does Yodi go play left guard? Could moving to center be a little jolt for Graham Glasgow to kind of get his game moving a little better this season? I don't know. Losing Frank is a huge thing. It does sound – I don't know what a partially torn pec truly means, especially for a center who needs leverage from your pectoral muscle. Mm-hmm. But, is it a guaranteed IR stint for, any other player in the league? And Frank Ragnow just happens to be week to week? To be determined. But there is something I need to shut some shit down. I need to shut some shit down.
Okay.
Hassan Reddick is not coming to Detroit.
Yes.
They're not trading for Hassan Reddick. They're not doing it. Why would they trade for Hassan Reddick and give him a contract? He's not the type type of edge rusher they want anyway. He's more in the James Houston category, more of a speed rusher. They want Marcus Davenport types. They want more like Trey Hendrickson of the Bengals, who are now 0-3, maybe there. Also, as much as I would love to see him on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson, Max Crosby isn't coming here either.
Yeah, unfortunately.
They're not getting rid of him unless you're giving him like 3-4 first-round picks.
And my question here is, do they have to do something?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I honestly, I think they give. I think this is the last shot for James Houston. I think they give him opportunity to go. Maybe not win that job like he's the only edge rusher. I think Levi is going to push to the outside a little bit more. They're going to do more things with Josh Paschal and Mekhi Wingo in terms of rushing the passer. But I think they're going to give Levi O and James Houston a chance. And maybe you call up Ukwu or Agude from the practice squad. Knowing Brad Holmes, if they're going to make a trade, it is going to be closer to the trade deadline. To be determined if they make a trade. But they're going to give their guys a shot. That's what they do.
And I think that you guys are right, but James Houston, I think we've all lost a little bit of confidence in him. You know why? Because the Lions have lost confidence in him. Like what are we supposed to do? And, Josh Paschal, I think he's been a little bit disappointing so far this year, although it hasn't hurt the defense. I personally would, because I'm seeing Levi Onwuzurike as well, I would prefer for him to be that force up the middle because he's played a big role in the first 3 games. I mean, you saw in the game against the Arizona Cardinals, it was his bull rush that made James Conner chip him and allow Aiden Hutchinson to win his one-on-one and get a sack. I don't know. With so many uncertainties, it might necessitate a move at the trade deadline. I mean, the Lions, they have to have these guys on a bit of a short leash because you can't have this defense taking a dip and all of a sudden costing your team games later on in the season. I'm not saying that it necessarily will, but Marcus Davenport, that's a big loss. And we haven't even talked about Derek Barnes looks like he's going to be out a while. Broder, is that something that the Lions should be able to withstand?
Yes. Not that it's not a big loss again, but because that linebacker room is so deep. Like they lost Anzalone. They lost Barnes, and they still held their own against the Cardinals, against the scrambling quarterback.
Versatility of that secondary.
Definitely. Barnes has been playing good, and he's been playing a lot off the edge. Like, I like what he's been doing. So it sucks losing him, and maybe it sucks a little more for him going out in a contract year like this. I'm not worried about the linebacker room. We're talking about Jalen Reeves-Maybin and Malcolm Rodriguez being deeper down in the depth chart. I'm cool with that for a period of time.
Sure. I mean, Jalen Reeves-Maybin, just don't commit personal fouls.
That's it.
That was a bad penalty. But the point still stands.
Yeah.
Malcolm Rodriguez was a starter in 2022. Jalen Reeves-Maybin is somebody who has shown when he has to step up is capable of doing that. Even a Ben Neiman, he started a lot of games in the NFL. Kind of a signing that may look a lot bigger as linebackers continue to drop like flies, but it's unfortunate. It's part of the NFL that sometimes when we're all exhilarated off of a big road win at Arizona to get the Lions to 2-1, you look the next day and it's like, damn, Davenport's out for the season.
Yep.
Damn, that Derek Barnes injury looks a little serious. It's sobering,
So
but
it's the hangover
NFL.
cure. But you know what? What's also sobering is that we've seen the Detroit Lions deal with injuries. Their secondary last year got depleted. We still saw them deal with injuries, and we saw guys step up as that season went on. So it's like knowing the types of guys that the Detroit Lions have, it sucks to see them have these types of injuries. But like Broder said, and like you said, they have the ability within the house, within camp, to be able to give some other guys an opportunity. And we've seen them in the past actually cash in on that. Regardless of what people think about that secondary, they held serve while Mosley got injured early in the season. CJ got injured early in the season. These guys still held serve to the tune of a pretty good season, I think all Lions fans would state. And if the Detroit Lions still have whatever that magic and whatever that mojo is, I do believe that they will find a way to kind of be able to mitigate the damages or the negative effects of some of these losses.
I certainly hope so. But to Broder's point earlier, James Houston, whether it's fair or not, he's probably playing for his career in Detroit.
It's fair. It's absolutely fair.
How good is that re-signing of Brock Wright looking right about now? We thought maybe it was a little expensive in the offseason. San Francisco wanted him. Now Laporta might miss a little bit of time or might not be himself. You got someone who can step up and fill a role.
I don't quite remember the Brock Wright signing being aptly covered everywhere. I do remember on this show, though, when he first signed that qualifying offer, everybody on the show was like, yo, that's going to be a tough loss. Like, man, it's a lot of money for him, but he plays and he does a lot of things for this team. And then when they went and they matched the offer, we came in here and then Broder was like, hey, it's time to cover it.
Let's go.
And it was awesome to see that we teed that up first. That, you know what, this is an important loss. You were on the beat and everything. And it's cool to see that perspective. Now that we have him on the squad right now, it feels like this team, in my opinion, has some insulation against loss.
Yeah. You know you're not going to get Sam Laporta.
Right.
At his best or even improving, but that's a pretty good number 2 to rely on in a game or two if you need him.
Yep. Man, though, that is well stated. And you know what? It's not just the Lions either. You talked about this is you get those victories, you wake up the next day and you see injuries. There are a lot of teams out there missing some very important players right now.
San
49ers,
Francisco?
yeah.
Jesus. They played without
Goodness.
Debo, Kittle, and Christian McCaffrey, and they lost to the Rams.
Yep.
They're on life
Speaking of, you
support
could
right
use
now.
Brock Wright right about now. Like May just said in the chat.
Yeah.
49ers would love to have him right now.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Man.
But they don't. And they're 1-2. And to be determined if they're even in our top 10 anymore.
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
Coming up next.
Tease.
You guys should like my list, but you won't.
But you won't.
Really hate, but
What, Buffalo Bills #1?
You'll see.
They might be.
You'll
Hey,
see.
let's rock, man. I got to tell you guys about Swiss Insurance. Now more than ever, it is critical for you to have your current insurance provider reviewed. Why? Because Swiss will make sure they're not slipping in anything extra.
No baby lotion.
Including no extra fees either, man. Because you saw they taxing for baby oil, man.
Yeah, they should be. It's a shortage. People buying 1,000 cases at a time and shit. Like,
well, you know what? Our guy Mark at Swiss Insurance, they're all about protecting you. Call them today, 313-530-1698. Visit them online, SwissINS.com.
And the Salvation Army.
Salvation Army. Have you ever thought about volunteering but don't know where to start? Start with the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign. Visit registertoring.com to sign up for shifts. You'll have an option to choose a 2-hour session at a physical Red Kettle site or participate in a virtual bell ringing shift to raise funds from the comfort of your own home. Virtual bell ringers can sign up and begin raising funds at any time. Traditional bell ringing begins on Friday, November 7th and runs through Christmas Eve, excluding Thanksgiving and Sundays. To sign up for volunteer shifts, visit registertoring.com.
To prove that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness, we're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today. Wow.
Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
I love Woodward Sports. Love wearing clothes. Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Oh man, I wish you could be here with us on these breaks, man. Like, we need a camera
Sam
in here
today.
Sam is definitely on one, but I got to tell you about some merch that we got going on right now. Head over to woodwardsports.com. Click on that shop tab. We are dropping new designs every single week for you. But you know we got the Stoke Not Scared. You know you got the Boo Them kids out right now, and the Tigers. Hey, they're hot right now, baby. So why not grab on the train and grab yourself some gear? Woodward Sports Tigers gear right now. Go over to woodwardsports.com. Click on that shop tab.
Les Stanford, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta talk about Les Stanford because it is the place where Spencer Raxter got his car. from the heavyweights and Big D Energy. And what happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC, the same great service that customers have come to know and trust on Woodward Avenue just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Let's drive right down the legendary Woodward Avenue. Something is telling me that October is going to be jumping, man. Jumping. Tigers.
A lot of Destiny's Child references out of you today. Ladies,
Can't pay my bills.
Hey, honey, man. Honey better be Queen Kool-Aid. I'll see you after work. But hey, shout out to Ed O'Neill, super chat. He said Dallas can't stop the run.
Wait a second. I don't know where that was going. I didn't realize what just happened.
For real.
9 months. Baby incoming after that statement.
No, for real.
Yeah.
You think he's slick? You're not slick, bro.
Yeah. Look at you guys. Interrupted Ed O'Neill super chat like that.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Ed O'Neill. $4.99 super chat.
Shout
Dallas
out.
can't stop the run, and Minnesota is our biggest threat. Shut the hurt players down until Minnesota. Seattle isn't as important as Dallas and Minnesota. I understand what you're saying, but still beat the piss out of freaking Seattle Seahawks, man. The Seahawks make me want to cuss, bro.
I feel you.
I hate that team. We got to get around the NFL, though. Chat family, go ahead and smash that like button. It's been epic today. But we got to get into this top 10 Tuesdays. Flannel has already told you guys his list is the one that you have to like, but you probably won't. You probably should.
Bills number 1.
Let's go. Let's get into it, bro.
All right, let's get into it. Throw it up there, JB. I'm going to start from 10 to 1. Number 10, I've got the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers is coming off his best game as a Jet. Their defense looked good, albeit against the Patriots, but still. And I'll tell you what, shout out to Chase because he first saw this. Braylon Allen looks like a dude. And Braylon Allen and Breece Hall is our RB tandem I love. Number 9, the Green Bay Packers. Hey, they're winning with Malik Willis. They're running the football. They're playing good defense. Their prize free agent signing Xavier McKinney has a pick in every single game. And no Jordan Love, no problem. At number 8, the Houston Texans. I love their talent. I love what they did in the offseason, and I think they're still going to be really, really good. However, they just lost by 27 to Minnesota. I got to put them down. At number 7, the Philadelphia Eagles. It was a bit of a struggle. Nick Sirianni made some decisions, I will just say that, but defensively, they played really well against what was the best offense in the NFL through 2 weeks, and your guy, Broder, Saquon Barkley, is well on his way to an offensive player of the year, which you predicted. At number 6, I got the Lions. Huge win at Arizona. The defense looks even better than we ever thought that it would at this point in the year. However, the offense needs to play a full, complete game, and they need to win a couple more before I can elevate them higher than 6. At number 5, I got the Seattle Seahawks. I get it. They played the Patriots. They were lucky to play the Dolphins with Tua Tagovailoa out. However, their pass rusher was a concern coming into the season. Boye Mafe seems to have figured it out. Derek Hall, Leonard Williams, rookie Byron Murphy, Jaron Reed. That's a pretty formidable front four, and I like their secondary. At number 4, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
What?
I don't believe in Justin Fields, but their defense is allowing 8 points per game.
You giving Mike Tomlin credit? What?
Oh, Mike Tomlin. You know, if Mike Tomlin had Patrick Mahomes, he would have won 10 Super Bowls by now, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to hear.
Absolutely.
Anywho, at number 3, the Minnesota Vikings. I know the chat is going to light me on fire for this one.
Tough.
And I know that the post-game show got a little off the rails because Anson was glazing Sam Darnold and Stick was saying that the Vikings are basically the Carolina Panthers. However, the answer is a little bit in between.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Vikings, they earned it. And you know what drives me crazy about some fans? I'm just going to say it right now. People nut over the Houston Texans. N-U-T nut. Oh my God, CJ Stroud. Oh my God, Nico Collins. They got Steph Diggs and Daniil Hunter in the offseason. They've got Derek Stingley. They've got this super talented team. Oh my God, they're going to challenge the Chiefs for the Super Bowl. They're like a trendy pick. CJ Stroud's going to win MVP. And when the Minnesota Vikings decapitate them by 27, it's like, doesn't matter. The Vikings still suck. They're no threat whatsoever. The reality is, The Vikings may have had, up to this point, the best offseason so far. Sam Darnold, Aaron Jones, you got Grenard and Van Ginkel, you got Blake Cashman, you got Stephon Gilmore and Shaquille Griffin, and you paid the best receiver in the NFL, Justin Jefferson. They are all balling at this point. Am I saying it's going to be sustained? I don't know, but for now they earned it. At 2, the Bills. Josh Allen is the MVP of the league right now, and that defense looks absolutely nasty. Old man Von Miller, sack in every game this year. And at number 1, come on. Defending Super Bowl champions 3 in the last 5 seasons, and they are undefeated. What more to be said? So that's my list.
Boy, them Vikings at number 3 are staring right at me, man. That's probably the sore thumb of the group for a lot of fans. But I don't know. The Vikings have been a team that since preseason, I was like, you know what? They always find a way to be in the muck of things. They just always find a way. No matter how much I want to be like, you know what? The Vikings suck. Let's trash our rivals. They find a way to get it done. And then with Sam Darnold, he's just a much more less turnover-prone quarterback.
Well, that was my issue with the whole post-game. And you guys have probably heard it by now. It was basically Anson going crazy over Sam Darnold and Stick, as I said before, treating the Vikings like they're the Cardinal, like they're the Panthers. And Sam Darnold might as well be Bryce Young. To me, it's not all about Sam Darnold, though. He's insulated. The defense has been playing great. They're a team that could end up being the biggest challenge to the Lions in the division. Am I saying the Vikings are going to win the division? No. However, you can't just completely discount a win over Houston by 27 and a win previously over the 49ers, a game in which Debo and Kittle played.
And you
CMC didn't.
And we shouldn't dismiss the Vikings. If you're a Lions supporter, I believe that dismissing the Vikings could be a mistake. And I know the Lions, they're not going to do that.
You can't dismiss them, but do you think they're the 3rd best team in the NFL?
I think they've earned it. I'm a big fan of what they did on the field.
Earned it. They earned their 3-0 record, but are they the 3rd best team in the NFL?
They beat the Houston Texans by 27, dude. People go crazy over Houston and then completely discount when the Vikings beat them. That's lunacy.
No, they're good. I have them pretty high on my list, but I'm just like 3rd to me just seems aggressive.
All right. That's fine.
Aggressive.
Like I said, I think they've earned it, personally.
Fair.
And I hope that they don't continue their stellar play. But like I said, that offseason for the Vikings, as much as we can crap on Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah for his poor drafting, they made some really nice moves.
Yeah.
Some really, like Andrew Van Ginkel, that to me is like a Billy Bean Moneyball type move because he is one of the most undervalued players in the National Football League, and he's arguably a top 10 edge rusher.
I like that. I think Aaron Jones was one of the best moves of the offseason, both because you took him from Green Bay and you put him on this offense with either Darnold or JJ at the time, whatever they were thinking. Yeah. You got Aaron Jones, one of the better running backs. One of the better running backs in the league. One of the more versatile running backs.
Well, Aaron Jones in, Alexander Madison out. That is a seismic upgrade. At least if Aaron Jones stays healthy and plays like you thought that he would, which he has so far this year.
Yeah, it's like David Montgomery and Jamal Williams out.
Sure.
Yeah, I love it. My list looks a little different. Let's get into it so we can have these crossover arguments, because at number 10, even with Malik Willis at their because Malik Willis is their quarterback and they keep running off wins, I got the Packers at number 10. That's their first time, I believe, in my top 10 list. Seahawks I have at 3-0. They deserve to be in the top 10. They're still not for real for me yet, but again, they're playing hard for their coach. Their defense is playing well. Geno Smith has his weapons, but this Monday night game against the Lions is where they prove it to me. Are they for real or not, or are they going to be a 8-9 win team? And then I got the Ravens. I know they're 1-2, but I still have so much belief in this team. Yeah. One more loss and they're out of the top 10, but we saw some spurts of Derrick Henry this past week. They almost blew it against the Cowboys, which would have been a big problem. But their only loss was to the Chiefs, right? Yeah, week 1 to the Chiefs. They lost to the Chiefs and then to the Raiders and then beat the Cowboys. So I still have them at number 8. Excuse me. Yep, I have them at number 8. Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know about their quarterback situation yet, but that defense is legit. They're up there for me. Minnesota Vikings at number 6. So I have them up there because of those wins. I don't know if they're for real yet, but because they beat the 49ers and because they beat the Texans, injuries or not, those are 2 of the biggest wins of the season around the NFL in terms of teams that I had higher in my power rankings when they beat them. I like that. I got the Texans at number 5, still ahead of the Vikings. I don't know why they lost to them. I don't think Joe Mixon is that important, I think they played a bad game. I still have so much belief that team is so balanced. Their roster is so good. I have the Texans at number 5. The Eagles too. Nick Sirianni's my only question. Mm-hmm. And that's a big question mark. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. And they could make a huge fall next week, but their roster to me, man, they have the roster. Saquon Barkley's playing well. I think when you have that and a great offensive line, that will carry you farther than most teams. Can Nick Sirianni take them over the top or figure out his shit and make sure that they stay in the top of these power rankings? To be determined, but I'm not ready to give up on them yet. I got the Bills because Josh Allen's a stud at number 3. The Lions, this might surprise a lot of people. I don't know if it surprises Lions fans, but these 3 weeks prove to me that they belong at the top of the power rankings. Mm-hmm. Even though it hasn't looked pretty, even with the injuries. May have to revisit this if Frank Ragnow is out for an extended period of time. It doesn't look like he is. I've seen a lot out of this Lions team. I've seen their resilience. I've seen them win games that maybe they shouldn't have. They lost a game that they should have won. I get that too, but these are 3 good teams that they just beat. I have more faith in the Lions. I have them as my number 2 team in the power rankings. And then the Chiefs, obviously.
Hey, yeah. And I see Ryan's reaction. He said you can't put 3 teams from the same division in a top 10 list.
Yes, you can.
It's the best division in football right now.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Nah. Yeah, you know what? The Lions at number 2. I like a lot of what you said, brother. I see some in the chat. They don't believe that Lions are number 2 yet. That's Mike Hart, 313. But in terms of how they played, obviously, I'd probably demote them just a little bit because they lost that game against the Bucs. But after seeing how they bounced back against the Cards, the type of team that we know that they are, the way that they lost that game, I'm not. My confidence in no way, shape, or form is shaken in the Lions, even if someone had them at 3 or 5.
Real quick, and I'll pass it right back to you. The reason I have them over the Bills, Josh Allen right now is the best player in the NFL. I don't even know if it's close.
Yeah.
And they're playing great. I didn't have the Bills in my top 10. They're up to number 3. I'm choosing a more balanced roster, a better team than the better player. The Bills haven't sold me yet, but you can't deny what Josh Allen's doing.
Yeah.
So that's my reasoning.
No, personally, I like your list better than Sam's list. It's a little more realistic. Sam, you had the Seahawks over the Lions, man. That's really my gripe with your list. The Seahawks, I'm just not ready to say that yet. They have been playing good ball. I'm not ready to say that just yet. But the only thing I would change on your list, brother, is I would put the Bills 2 and the Lions 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to argue with that.
Yeah, that's it. But I think that's a perfect list besides that.
Yeah, I think I need to see a great start to finish Jared Goff game before I could, and circumstances will change week by week.
I get it.
But I would have needed to have seen that to put them over the Buffalo Bills, because the Lions, at least when healthy, yes, they have a better roster than the Bills. But right now, when we're talking about quarterbacks, in my opinion, Patrick Mahomes is in a tier by himself. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen's in a tier by himself, a lower tier, and then there's everybody else. So that to me makes up for a lot, and their defense is playing well. Khalil Shakir is playing like at least a reliable number 1 type target for Buffalo. I'm not saying he's a number 1, but they don't miss Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis just yet. So Bills, Chiefs at Arrowhead, AFC Championship game is going to be a matchup of the Titans.
On that note, you talked about you want to see a full game out of Jared Goff before you put him ahead of the Bills. That's fair, and that's actually partly why I have them at number 2, because we haven't seen a full game out of Jared Goff, and they're still 2-1 with some big wins. Do you think the Patriots? Do you think the Steelers' defense is that good? Are they that legit? Because they don't have a quarterback either, and they're a little higher on your list.
I think they could be the best defense in football.
Yeah,
seriously. Are they going to allow less than 10 points a game through all week 17? No, obviously, but I think they could be the best defense in football. So
that's fair then to have them to justify it because their defense is that good, which I actually do think it is.
Steelers in a nasty defense.
Yeah, what a surprise. Never seen that before.
In a year with probably low expectations, like Mike Tomlin, man, there's some stuff that he got in the water over there.
Hey, don't say that name too loud. Sam gonna have an aneurysm.
Hey, shout out to Mike G. He said, yes, the NFC North is the big dog in the NFL. Denver Blair, NFC North balls out. Vincent E. NFC North, best division in the NFL. And this is something that we kind of kicked on a little bit last year. to start the year, it didn't look as much, but as that year started to come to a close, the NFC North teams appeared to be some of the hottest teams in all of the NFL, all of football. While the 49ers were free falling, the Packers were climbing the chart. The Lions didn't put together any back-to-back losses. The Vikings started to make a threat towards the end of the year. Shout out to the Lions for snuffing out those hopes. But they were right there. And then the Bears, they put together a decent stretch towards the end of the season. NFC North, man, is a squad that I think you're going to see multiple teams in that top 10 of you guys' power rankings and anybody's all year.
Well, and you mentioned both me and Broder had Packers, Vikings, and Lions in our top 10. And the Bears, I will say this. Caleb Williams, in the totality of the season so far, does not look good. He's been a turnover machine. He's missed a lot of throws. However, in this game at Indy, you saw glimpses. You saw flashes of some of the magic that he was able to create at USC. You finally saw a connection between him and Rome Odunze. Odunze quietly had over 100 yards. And that defense, I still think, is going to be really, really good. Again, Caleb Williams' turnover created a very short field for the Colts to score their 20th and 21st point. So I'm not saying that the Bears are necessarily going to win the division or that they're going to be in my top 10 anytime soon. But Caleb Williams looks to be on the verge of starting to figure it out if he can cut down the turnovers.
And the NFC North, it's the only division in football with 3 teams over 500 right now.
Yeah.
Ooh, like that's something to be said. And we can argue power rankings about the Vikings all you want, but they're a real team. Like, they're not a 4 to 5 win team. Maybe I thought they were maybe a 7 to 8 win team. If they win 9 or 10 games, I wouldn't be surprised. I still think the Lions are winning this division. But instead of having the Bears as my number 3rd team in the NFC North, I would flip those two. I would put the Vikings as that number 3rd team. And for all we know, they could sneak ahead of the Packers. But even with Malik Willis, the Packers keep winning.
Well, that's the crazy thing. And another thing that was discussed on the post-game show, because people hear Malik Willis and just scoff and laugh. And rightfully so, up to these last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
However, I think it was Anson who said that Malik Willis has been one of the most valuable signings of the entire season. And you know what? He's right. He is right. Because with Jordan Love out, you would think that the Packers would crater. I do get it. Malik Willis, especially in the first game, didn't have to do much. Just give it to Josh Jacobs and let the Packers force Anthony Richardson turnovers. But in this win at Tennessee, Malik Willis also led the team in rushing. And what's the job of a backup quarterback? Steady the ship when your starter is out. And Malik Willis has done at least that.
Still think it's Matt LaFleur, but in
Matt
my
LaFleur's
Stephen A. voice.
coach.
But
he is.
Not ready to give it to Malik Willis just yet.
You know what? That's one thing. The NFC North got some coaches.
Yep.
They got some coaches here.
And Matt Eberflus.
Right.
And Matt Eberflus.
It's bad.
Have they not just their offense at times just doesn't look. I don't know. Their interior offense. That's my thing. Their interior of their offensive line.
Yeah.
But are they going to figure it out with Caleb? He showed some flashes, but I don't know if they know how to use him.
I don't think that they're best equipped to use him, which is why if I'm the Chicago Bears, and I'm dead serious, and Lions fans aren't going to like this, but this is reasonable, you throw the bag at Ben Johnson in the offseason. Give him whatever he wants to come be the head coach of the
Ben Johnson
Bears.
wouldn't go to Chicago.
He would.
Don't do that.
Just that offense?
Don't
with
do
those
that.
pieces?
No, I understand. I'm talking about if I'm the Bears, I try.
No,
Make Ben
for
Johnson
sure,
say
for sure.
no.
Yeah.
Hopefully he does. Hopefully he's one of those guys that just wants to work under a head coach forever. We'd love to see it. But
My dog not doing that, bro. You can't go to the Bears, man. I get it. It's a favorable situation.
Yeah.
But nah, he wouldn't go to the Bears, man.
Oh, good.
That would break my heart, bro.
Dirty
Break my
Dr.
heart,
D
but
said
if I
he's
were him, I would go to the Bears.
you know what? You know what will make your heart heal quicker?
What?
That Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, that's
That
true.
Super Bowl ring.
That is
Coming
true.
off a Super Bowl ring,
Right.
Then he's a made man in Detroit.
Then you can do what the hell you want.
Hey, Dirty Dr. D says he's happy to see Sam off the Bears bandwagon.
I was never on the Bears bandwagon. I just I put him in my top 10 after week 1. In retrospect, it's not looking like a smart selection, but they've got, let's just say they have a favorable 3-game schedule coming up. They could be 4-2 and they could be back on my top 10. The top 10 is fluid. You just never know what's going to happen. Shout out Top 10 Fluids BDE.
I can't wait to see what the people say if the Bears find themselves on your top 10 in a couple weeks.
They could be 11-2, and people are like, "How do you have the Bears at 9, Slappy? You're actually a Bears fan."
You know what?
Happen.
Whether it's warranted or not, still just throw some FTBs, FTPs, FTVs in the chat.
Thank you.
Of course.
All of them. All of them.
Right.
Okay.
See, and shout out Mike Hart in the chat. Ben Johnson to the Eagles. That's more realistic.
Ooh.
Nick Sirianni's days. I don't want to see that, but
However,
that's more
exactly
realistic.
my reaction. He was exactly my reaction.
Don't put that out there. Don't. That's too good. No, that makes too much sense.
I'll take that over the Bears. I'm sorry.
Next thing is they say Feder to the White Sox. And
Yeah.
it ruined my day.
That's what Bass said. He did say that, I think.
Don't go there, man. There's other
I
teams
said
that
that
are gonna
first.
be losing.
Oh, did
Sorry.
you? Yeah.
I said
No,
that
you
first.
did. You did.
Not Ben Verlander. Or his disciples.
Let me tell you about the pregame show
Right?
and the postgame show. New Holland Brew. I love the WUW Crew. Goodness. Hey, look, we heard you guys. Watch parties, you wanted to be down, now you can. Hey Social in Shelby Township is where we are at for the Woodward Sports Watch Party and the post-game show. The heavyweights, Stick and Anton, and many different Woodward Sports personalities, including One Flannel Sam. I'm telling you guys, you have to see some of these people live while the game is going on. It is epic, it is epic, it is epic. You already know you're gonna get some good drink, you're gonna get some good eat, and you know what? It's absolute fun to be with your Lions family. Hey Social, Shelby Township, and if you can't make it, definitely make sure you're tapped in via Woodward Sports, your #1 digital sports outlet. All of this is brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine. Taller, your local long drink, 1800 tequila. Soroki's, we got the Soroki's in the building. I'm telling y'all want to be there. Sabbath Coffee as well. It's Woodward Sports, it's Lions game day. You guys got to be there.
And what about 1800?
Ooh. Somebody got it.
Hey, 1800 tequila, of course. With 1800 tequila, official tequila of Woodward Sports, Lions, watch parties, and post-game show. Join 1800 Tequila and Woodward Sports every Lions game live at Hey Social in Shelby Township and celebrate the wins with smooth 1800 Tequila. Proud sponsor of your Detroit Lions. 1800 Tequila, the best taste in tequila. Drink responsibly.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
To prove that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness, we're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today. Wow.
Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
Join the best youth football league in Metro Detroit. The Boys and Girls Clubs of Southeastern Michigan's 3C Sports League offers youth ages 5 to 14 with 6 exciting teams to choose from in Detroit, Belleville, Highland Park, and East Point. All coaches are trained, certified, and undergo background checks. Register for football or cheer at bgcsm.org. Equipment, meals, and transportation included, all for a chance to play for a championship at Ford Field for just $175 per child. Put the youth back in youth sports with BGCSM 3C Sports. And To Dispo after Boys and Girls Club. Love that.
Kids don't do drugs.
Right, put the kids away first.
Wait till
Drop the kids off.
Wait till you're a couple years older at least. And how would you like $10 in free products from Dispo Dispensary? Screenshot this image with the QR code and bring it into any Dispo
Worst
location.
shit you could be doing.
And you'll get a free $10 to spend in store with a minimum purchase of $25. Visit Dispo Dispensary today or disposhops.com. Dispo Dispensary, your local cannabis plug.
Oh, man. Want to know where the best pregame Lions party is on September 30th? Join us at Detroit's very own Second Best Bar, located at 42 Watson Street for the ultimate fan experience. Enjoy some smooth Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey while catching the Woodward Sports pregame show, only at Second Best Bar. Come get some. And what up, though, people? We are back. It is Wake Up Woodward. And we appreciate you guys for kicking off the day with the WUW Crew being engaged. Continue to smash that like button and let's have a day straight up. Hey, JB Smooth. It's time to get sparking word to Dispo.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
Here's Jeremy.
Let's rock. What's up, fellas? What's going on? Hey, look, I know the Tigers game got moved up a little bit. So, if you are on your way to work and you need an excuse right now, I got this for you. Just screenshot this, print it out, fill it out, appropriately for work and or school.
It excused absence.
It excused absence, so you can go and watch the Tigers today at 1 o'clock.
You so fired if you present this to your boss.
It is official. It's from the Tigers. Like, they want you to be there.
Hey, that's cool. As an employer, I ain't trying to hear that shit. I'm not. Do it at your own risk.
Like I said, hey, look. Just print it out, see if it works. If it works, hey, you know what? You got a day off. You get to go see the Tigers.
You're going to figure out if your boss is a real one or not, man.
Right.
Call them out. Let's
better
see who the real Detroit sports fans are.
It's better than saying Yanti died for the 45th time. So take it from me.
Like, dang, man, Auntie Clarice passed twice?
Right. Twice in a month? Like,
so losing count of the aunties that you named. Right. Like, goodness.
Hey, look, I'm just giving you some options out there, just so you know. But, hey, you know what, Dallas, you made it really close this past weekend. But you know what? Some of the fans, they just weren't happy at all.
I bet they wasn't.
As Grandma was seeing over here, pulled out a book. And right in the middle.
Catch up on my reading.
Dog!
Right in the middle of the Dallas game.
Damn.
She did not care.
Damn, man. It's gotta be tough to be a Cowboys fan, man.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I wish I knew what book that was, man.
Right.
I really do.
She might as well started knitting, too. Like,
you know what book it is? It's that book, Owen Wilson and Wedding Crashers, when he was at his apartment by himself, and it just says, "Don't jump."
Right?
I'm reading, "Don't kill myself."
Right, for real. This is bad, man.
Oh, Cowboys fans. Hey, you know what? At least you got a nice big old Jumbotron screen that you can watch this misery on.
I guess that you paid $4,500 for nosebleed seats. I guess.
I guess.
Yeah. She gonna need a bigger book to kind of block that screen out.
At least you got Jerry World.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, it's rough sledding out there for those Cowboy fans.
Oh,
how about them Cowboys?
I know. How about them Cowboys? I don't know if you guys knew this, but back in my younger days, I used to be an extreme sports fan. So, the snowboarding, the skateboarding, everything like that. Motocross as well, too. Now, I didn't see this trick out there. The backside face slide, board slide. But, hey, this might be something new that could catch on.
Sound brutal.
Kool-Aid.
Oh!
JB called me at the right time. I was looking at the chat.
Oh, your face is gone. Where's your face?
Where's your face? God, that's wild.
Shit.
Oh, my gosh.
Falling on your face is one thing. Sliding on your face? That's
look how
tough.
far. But it's just like... Look how far off that ramp she flew, too, though. That's a long way.
Now, this is a child, right? Why is your child skiing at this young of an age? Like,
I don't mind skiing, but doing that at this young of age, like whatever that is, that's a part of the training? Because that's pretty harsh.
That's tough, man.
Sheesh.
WYPIPO.
It's pretty rough out there. It is pretty rough out there. I'm not going to lie about that one.
Oh, my God.
That's all I'm going to say.
I'm like, bro, just slid across your face. Like, hey, baby. My goodness.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm Halloween.
You know what? I know Flannel had a very good weekend. I think he was at the Caesars Sportsbook for this one as well, too. Shout out to Caesars once again. Flannel was out here cashing out on that Patrick Mahomes win right there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my man dropped $1 million on the money line of Kansas City
ticket.
and the Falcons, and that return is nice.
My dog.
Goodness.
I hope you got a bodyguard, because I hope you're not just walking outside with that. With all that.
I think he's just going to put it in his duffel bag.
Jesus Christ, man.
That's wild.
Well, he cashed out.
Well, more power to you, man. You got $1 million to drop on it. So.
Money in a duffel bag. That sounds sweet money.
What you know about that, Flannel?
Right. Now go and get your money, little duffel bag, boy.
Duffel bag Flannel?
Duffel bag Flannel.
Let's go.
Shout out Jason Bateman and Ozark. You're going to use that for gas and snacks the rest of your life.
I wonder what duffel bag Flannel's duffel bag would be full of. Like, I wonder, man. Definitely some long drinks.
Oh. I mean,
some cut-off flannel shirt.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Never
maybe a polo in there in case you want
to need and better to have and not need than to need and not have.
That's right. True. Phil, do you keep score at a baseball game? Like, do you keep the scorecard, the scorebook?
No.
Okay.
Do you?
I don't. I was just thinking about that. Like, I might as well ask him this.
Yeah. That's a lot of work.
It is. Yeah.
It is. That's a lot of work. And finally, I will end what's trending with this. I can't believe we got back from the weekend and I did not mention this. But once again, BYU beat K-State over the weekend, and someone put out a statement which they are looking for him on Twitter as of right now. One Mr. St. Bill Snyder said if K-State loses
what the fuck
to BYU, I will shove a beefy 5-layer burrito up you nowhere.
Freak time, bro.
In a world where you can legally bet on sports.
Right.
These are the bets you choose?
Yeah.
That is the bet that he chose.
You could have did something that could have made you money. Instead, you want the BGs? Like, what are we doing?
No, this more than the BG.
Yeah, what are we doing?
I'm not shoving anything up my. No.
If memory serves me right, didn't BYU destroy them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why are you making bets? I don't know.
Stay off the socials, people. Please do not post shit like this, man. It will always come back to bite you.
That one Florida State fan, wasn't he supposed to put?
Yeah.
I forgot which one that was.
He done went missing, and this guy probably gone missing too.
He has gone missing, but you know what? BYU has not forgotten about it either. As they say, live Moss. Live Moss, my friend. Live Moss.
Dirty Dr. D said that's a beefy freak off.
No, for real. Yeah. Why you shoving shit up your ass, bro? we gotta have a talk, bro. Like, there's other bets you could have made.
Matt said exit only.
That's tough, man.
What is the matter with people?
Tough.
That is
waste
rough.
of a burrito.
It's like Judge Joe Brown is needed. Like, what's the matter with y'all?
Right.
Goodness.
It is a waste of a burrito, and that's it for what's trending, you guys.
Jesus Christ.
I wonder if Flannel, I know Flannel, you ain't gonna have no beefy burritos in that duffel bag, right?
No, but you know where you should go for home buying needs? Mark White, of course. There's no easy way to transition from that.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Think of a new home, but think the financial pinch. Mark White Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true. Hey.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
To prove prove that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness, we're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today. Wow.
Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
Soroki's Crispy Chicken.
Oh, go right ahead.
Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza.
Since you're so eager.
Their signature wings. You know what? We have the Soroki's third down at every single watch party. I wish the Lions would have converted more in the second half. I would have had more wings, but that's neither here nor there. They've got the best crispy chicken and pizza around. They even brought us fried corn.
Come on.
No,
Biscuits. Everything you could possibly want is at Soroki's. There are locations all over Metro Detroit. There's actually one right down Woodward around the Royal Oak, Berkeley area, and they also opened a new one in Madison Heights. So get your Soroki's today. And then after Soroki's, after you are nice and full and are ready to have a clear mind to buy a car, you go to Feldman, where myself and Matt Broder got our new cars.
Sure did.
Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit FeldmanAuto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
Hey, and what up, though, people? We are back, man. It's been a show. Wake Up Woodward today. Thank you guys for kicking off the day with us. Go ahead and smash that like button. Let's continue to zoom on through this goal. And I will announce the winner of the 2 Tigers tickets giveaways for today's game before we wrap up. But hey, man, you know what? Mike G said duffel bag flannel hanging out with Kwame Kilpatrick. What's in Flannel's duffel?
Innocent. I'm kidding.
Right. No, he wasn't innocent. Should he have done as much time? No, but he wasn't innocent, though.
We know that there's white people-ish.
Yeah, for sure.
Kwame was definitely the representation of black people.
Yeah, he did that shit. Shout out Kwame, man.
Oh, man. Space. Feldman Mailbag segment by Wake Up Woodward. Let's rock. Let's get into it. Hey, use hashtag Feldman Mailbag in the chat. Broder's already scanning, and I know Mike G had one as well. Please get that back in the chat too, brother.
Let's go. Here we go. Desert Stallion 14. We talked about this in more depth around 9:03, but I'm going to ask it again because it's a great question. With all the injuries we sustained in week 2, are the Lions ready to roll with their depth, or is it time to start bringing in players via trade or free agency?
There's got to be depth because they're just not the team to just go out as soon as something happens and go acquire a player. Now, with that being said, they did leave themselves enough room cap-wise to go make a move at some point. I do think it could happen maybe more so towards the trade deadline, but as of right now, they're going to rock and roll with who they got.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of looking at what they did last year, they were confident in what they had. I think they have a little bit more this year. I guess see what you got. Take the time to fully assess.
I saw some Yannick Ngakoue talk in the chat earlier, and I get it, especially if the Lions aren't confident in James Houston. However, if you're the Lions and you could tread water up until right before the trade deadline, I do believe there's going to be somebody better available at the trade deadline if you want to make a trade. Like maybe a Chase Young, Montez Sweat type player, both of those who are better and more well-rounded than a Yannick Ngakoue.
Might catch a desperate team at the trade deadline.
Hey,
absolutely.
Maybe the Cincinnati Bengals keep sputtering and old Mr. Trey Hendrickson. They got cap issues. They don't want to sign Jamar Chase.
Hey, DJ Reader.
Hey, yes.
Bring me home. Feldman mailbag from Rando Smalls. With Jackson Jobe, the number 1 pitching prospect in baseball, called up. Should the Tigers use him as a starter, as a closer, or in what role do you see him playing?
I kind of wanted to ask y'all this earlier. How do they utilize him through this 6 games and maybe in the playoffs?
Broder, I think you're the most qualified to answer that question as somebody who pitched at the University of Michigan.
Yeah, they're going to use him in none of those ways. He's not going to be a starter. That's a guarantee. I doubt they use him as a closer unless a certain situation presents itself. It's going to be an A.J. Hinch masterclass, or just his normal masterclass. He's going to find the right matchup, whether it's one batter or 1 inning, send Jackson Jobe out there to do a job, and that'll be it for a game.
Well, I kind of alluded to this earlier. I see Jackson Jobe personally as somebody who, if they decide to do a bullpen day in the playoffs, have him do some middle innings, a middle inning or two, or even if, let's just say we hope it doesn't happen, Reese Olson gets rocked and goes like 2 or 3 innings, or even if he doesn't get rocked, he just wants to give Olson a short start, then Jackson Jobe can maybe get the 4th or 5th. That's what I see.
Yeah.
We'll see though. I'm glad that he's there because his stuff is just electric. It might even be better than Skubal's, honestly.
Hey, Broder, how many times do we see him in this 6-game stretch?
In this 6-game stretch, depends how they start the 6-game stretch, but I think we see him at least 2 times, maybe 3.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be a batter or an inning at a time. Maybe he's even an opener. Yeah. It's trickier. It's not like these 2 teams have superstars at the top of their lineups. And it's weird to say, hypothetically, they match up with the Baltimore Orioles again. Could he be a starter to pitch to Gunnar Henderson? Are you going to bring in a guy for his first couple innings and throw him against an MVP candidate? But because he hasn't played in the big leagues, there's just only so much tape on him, only so much that these hitters are ready for. So you might as well throw someone out there who's tossing 100 against some of the best players and just throw them off. You try to get one out from those guys. Jackson Jobe may be the best opportunity for that in certain situations. Ed O'Neill, Feldman Mailbag. The Lions are guaranteed to go 2-1 in the next 3. Seattle, Dallas, and Minnesota. Who do you pick as the loss and why?
I can't believe I'm saying this, but Seattle.
Oh.
I know.
Why? It's interesting, though. Why? I think I know why.
It's because, first off, I want the division win.
Yep.
And the Vikings, they're the one that the Lions are looking up at right now, and that would be a huge get in terms of maybe breaking my narrative and thinking that the Vikings are, and maybe they actually are frauds and don't end up in my top 10 again. And with the Cowboys, it's just, damn. I'm really having a hard time justifying this one. You know what? Change my mind. I'd almost probably say the Cowboys because the Seahawks are currently 3-0. I'm thinking about seeding right now.
What kind of question? That is nasty work of a question.
That is a nasty question.
I agree with Sam's first point. It would have to be the Seahawks in this case because, and listen, I do understand we owe the Seahawks one for sure, but I'm not losing to a fraudulent Dallas Cowboy team again, especially behind the shit that happened last year. I can't go out there and have them lose in Jerry World. That's a road game as well. So I would much rather them take that road game. And then, of course, we need that division win against the Vikings. So that's it.
What up, though, JB?
Just a little bit of breaking news here. Dan Campbell was on a other local radio station here earlier, giving a little bit of update to Frank Ragnow. He does have a torn pec. He said Frank wants to go, but they're not entirely sure what they want to do with him yet. We'll do what's best for him and what's best for us in the moment, he said, end quote.
And that was what, via the flagship?
Yes, via the flagship and Adam Scheffler.
Thank you. Man. I feel like if there's a team that can overcome this type of stuff, I believe the Lions have shown that they can do that. But goodness, it's Frank.
He wants to
Frank's
go.
a tough
He
son of a
wants to
bitch,
go,
man.
yeah.
He's a tough.
He might be a protect him from himself type because it's the game before the bye.
Right.
I don't know.
Sounds like it's at least going to be an IR 4 weeks. Nonetheless, we'll know more for our show tomorrow. We'll break it down. We're talking about losing the best center in football and the best offensive line in football. It's not a small loss. We'll change the vibe with one last question here to get out of here so we can shit on the Cowboys and the Bears.
Damn right.
Charles McClain asks, Feldman Mailbag, there's always coaches getting fired in the NFL early and often. So the question is, who gets fired first in the NFL this year? Mike McCarthy or Matt Eberflus?
Mike McCarthy. Maybe Doug Peterson if things continue to trend the way they are. I know he's a Super Bowl winning coach, but it's not looking good over there in Jacksonville.
Ooh, I got something that would be real nice.
Do it.
Mike McCarthy gets fired after they lose at home to the Lions.
Yes.
So beautiful.
Yes.
That's poetry.
Hey, add that to the list.
We got Mike McCarthy blank face look. I need it. I need it.
We got Josh McDaniels fired last year. Just saying.
So poetry.
And the thing is, that's not outside the realm of possibility. Getting embarrassed 3 times in a row at Jerry World?
Yeah, Jerry Jones not standing for that.
No, he's not.
Is that a show, guys?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. What a weekend. Still on the high off that, man. Go blue. Alex Orgy, do something. Scheme something for that
coordinator,
guy.
do something.
Hey, coordinator. Listen, Coach Moore. scheme something up for Alex Orji.
All right, start running that triple option. Kool-Aid more.
Man, let's go. It's been a show. Thank you, chat family. You guys have been engaging. You've been active. I think earlier it was either Mike G or Ryan's reaction asked what type of Lions shirt Lizzie from Canton wears. I feel like we just haven't heard from her in a long time.
Yeah, man. Broder has moved on. We'll just say that. So
my name is Lizzie. I'm from Canton.
It don't hit the same. It don't. My man Broder is the hottest free agent on the market right now. My man Broder over here.
Put me in, coach.
Hottest
man, coach.
Big bachelor.
Let's rock. Let's get this chest pass going. Hey. That's butter. Yeah. Let's rock, man. It's been Wake Up Woodward. Shout out to that dude, Justin, and intern Chase. Our Tigers credential reporter and writer for the network, that is Matthew Broder. Great job today.
Reminder, Tigers game's at 1:10 p.m. today. Moved up from 6:40. 1:10. Tarek Skubal's on the bump versus the Rays. Let's go.
Hey, let's go. Thank you for that information. And real quick, the winner of the 2 Tigers tickets. That is on X, the real Vader at James Vader 1212. Hey, he's also a Michigan fan too. So go blue to you and congratulations once again. James Vader 1212 is the handle. Congratulations to you. You're going to be able to see the Tigers today. Continue to make this push towards the wild card. Shout out to the vet of the squad that is Flannel Sam. Shout out to you, brother. Great show. You were bringing stats. You were bringing heat. That you went on some rants today. People was like, you know what? This is epic.
Yeah.
Epic.
Yep, I am riding with this Michigan team moving forward. Playoffs.
Ooh.
The playoff push is right back on. Right back where it was supposed to be.
I hope it is.
Go blue.
I hope it is.
Go blue.
Go blue, though.
Shout out to this elite, wonderful, magnificent, stupendous, great, hardworking
Keep it
dogs.
up. Keep it up. Come on, man.
Better than the rest. I'm talking about them guys down the street. Hey, you guys already know. You're on borrowed time. Why? Because the best in the biz resides right here. This elite booth.
Talk
in the
about
sound booth. That is Detroit's #1 draft pick, KG, a.k.a. Black Hollywood.
Yes,
Shout out to
sir.
Calvin Shepard.
Hey, go Tigers today. We need y'all to finish the damn job, man. But hopefully the Lions can get this shit back together. Shout out to the crew and the chat. Great show today, and let's keep this shit rolling, man.
Hey, let's keep it rolling. Woodward Sports is MVP. And the booth on a Tuesday. That's JB Smooth.
Jay Bizzle.
Hey, Tigers, keep it rolling. I'll be watching at home, working, but at the same time, I'll be keeping a close eye on you. You got this. Keep it pushing forward.
Mike G. Lizzie is a simple gal. She likes to play the meatballs from IKEA on the first date.
Not the
IKEA
good meatballs, by the way. Don't throw shade on IKEA meatballs.
Lizzie does
Costco
squats
hot
at the
dogs.
summit.
IKEA meatballs, just the stuff.
Shout out to Mike G for knowing about the summit at out in Canton, man. Epic basketball run.
Oh, that's right. IKEA's in Canton.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes. That is perfect.
I didn't make that connection at first.
Yeah.
You know how many drives I took out there?
WUW Crew boots on the ground at IKEA, brother.
Sold.
All right.
I can be Scandinavian for the day.
Hey, it's your boy Brandon Day, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. Media Day next Monday. It's gonna be a crazy day. Pistons Media Day, Detroit Lions Monday Night Football. We got a little bit more to go this week to review this Seahawks matchup. Have a blessed day. It's been Wake Up Woodward. Thank you guys.